thinking about the carbon accounting module, so going now more into what you can expect from the integrity assessment of these reports. For every pillar, every sub-pillar, you will receive or you will see 2 scores. You will understand the risk score as well as the uncertainty. So as I mentioned, one of the key characteristics of a pre-issuance project is, sometimes data is not available. Sometimes a study hasn't been completed. So we really want to not just say that this is the risk and this is the risk forever, but contextualize that kind of risk score a little bit more to say, provide an indicator of, okay, well, what is the flexibility here? What can be done about this ultimate risk? So coming back to the carbon accounting pillar, you can see this is the example of an ARR project, looking at what carbon pools have been quantified. We can compare it to what the methodology requires or what is allowed by the methodology, as well as benchmarking against best practices. So not only in the kind of the absolute sense, but also in terms of, what is actually the best approach or the best course of action for this project. To supplement this, you may also be able to see how this stacks up to a project in the same peer group. So let's take the example of an ARR project that has selected to quantify the deadwood carbon pool in its carbon crediting. This is, you could see what % of projects within that peer group also selected to quantify the deadwood project. So against a group of peers, against the methodology requirements and against best practices, how does this project stack up? For a red project, let's say, you will also be able to see the pre-project conditions. So what has the forest change and the ultimate biomass change been in that project area before the project intervention, as compared to what has been reported by the project developer versus Sylvera's independent assessment of the above ground biomass carbon stock from our biomass time series data. Moving to think about more of a biochar project, thinking about permanence, you can understand and see the selection of different HC ratios, the lab details of the lab protocol for the testing, if the location of the soil application has been provided, as well as an understanding of what are the natural hazards that may drive decay over time. Sticking with a biochar example, thinking in the context of additionality, you will have a full assessment of the policy and regulatory barriers or incentives that are related to the project. You will also be able to see what is common practice, a common practice analysis. But particularly when we're thinking about a biochar project, there are alternative sources of revenue that are available to some projects that they may choose to include as part of the project business model. So you want to be able to understand if those assumptions about the revenue are reasonable, how they relate to the total carbon revenue of the project, and what are the sensitivities of the individual assumptions relative to the ultimate output, or thinking about the financial additionality or the revenue impact that the incentive of carbon provides.